Welcome everybody back to another episode of the Handsome Homebuyer Podcast. My name is Charles, aka the Handsome Homebuyer, aka Captain Permit, aka
El Judío Maravilloso.
You know what that means? You have a Colombian wife.
Jew.
Oh, yeah, close enough. You know what? 1 out of 2 is not bad, bro. That's better than 99% of the people that came on here.
What was it?
The Marvelous Jew. Fired up today. Got my protein shake. Getting jacked in person, in life. A lot of exciting stuff going on today. Today, our Long Island Business News article comes out. Just got interviewed by Newsday earlier this week. Getting a lot of press for the Oceanside deal. Wednesday, we have the final stop on the, I call it the open book tour. Do you know about this? Do you know what's going on here? So essentially, we have a really big deal. We have a number of big development deals that are in the works. But I have a deal with Oceanside Jewish Center. They have 4 acres, and we're going to be subdividing and taking 2.5 roughly of those 4 acres, and we're going to be building something. We're going to develop something there right next to them. The cool part is I came up with 5 development concepts that are economically viable and that there's a demand for in the Oceanside area, and we're taking it to the people. Like, instead of doing the normal developer shit, which is like on the DL, try to get something approved, and then all of a sudden there's like a 300-unit apartment building popping up next to you, and you're like, what happened here? We're literally going out into the public, having big meetings with the public and saying, yo,
what do you want?
This is who we are. This is what'll work. Here's the good, the bad, and the ugly on each of these. You guys give us our input. I'm actually going to have ballots at this event where they can vote and then voice concerns. Cool. So we have a number of stops. Chamber of Commerce, we met with some of those folks, the Kiwanis Club, and we're documenting the entire process.
Wow. Cool, man.
You know what else is cool? Captain Permit. 516-513-8838. If you need plans, if you need permits, if you just want to look at a guy who runs Captain Permit who's easy on the eyes, ladies, give us a call. Mike is the man, our new COO of the operation, crushing it. No one's more efficient. From the day you call and we're out there, plans are drawn up, measured, stamped, sealed, ready to rock and roll within a week. That's the goal. Nobody out there is doing that. Can I get a nobody out there is doing that?
Nobody out there.
Nobody is out there is doing that. And today's guest has the experience to be able to back me up on that. And you're going to learn about him in just a minute. Obviously, if you have a house that smells like cat pee, has been dated from the 1960s, development opportunities, anything real estate related, you know I want to buy it. 516-777 sold. All right, so we have a multi-generational rock star in the room. Ready? You getting fired up?
Yeah,
I see you adjusting in the seat. You're like ready. You're like, all right,
let's do it.
Here it is. So let's go down the list. We had to abridge the list because I actually ran out of paper. Okay, this gentleman is a broker owner. He's a rehabber. He's a second-generation broker owner, I should say. Platinum Award winner, Lifetime Achievement Award winner, Hall of Famer. His brokerage has one of the highest PPAs, and I'll let him explain that in a minute, in Nassau County of any brokerage. He belongs to the best of the best. Remax Central Properties, Mr. Chris Hubbard.
Thank you.
What's up, man?
That's awesome. What's up?
You like that?
Yeah, that was awesome.
Good to have you here,
should
man.
Do that professionally.
So we
Intro
I've known about you for a long time. The first time I ever heard about you is, and we never even talked about this, ironically, I was trying to buy a foreclosure, which is a super rare thing, and this was like 4 years ago.
Wadsworth.
In Merrick.
Oh, maybe
no,
not.
In Merrick. It was a corner property.
Okay.
It was blue. It was a cape. I missed it. You bought it with your mom. You guys blew it out. Did a great job.
Oh yeah.
And that was the first. That was my introduction to.
Yeah, it's right by my babysitter. To Blue House in the corner. Yep.
Chris and Joanne AKA Mother Hubbard.
Yep.
Which I love.
Yeah.
So I mean, you're obviously a top producer. Oh, we forgot that part. 82 houses sold in a year.
Yeah, retail sales in 1 year. That's probably my highest.
But that's nuts out, bro.
Yeah, for my mom and I, it's not where my greatest potential, but it's good.
But it's got to be pandemonium, like legitimate pandemonium. I remember we were
great.
talking. Yeah. Even now, I remember changing market, and we'll talk about that later. But even now, you're like, we're doing at least 1 transaction a week. So it's like, that's amazing.
It's great.
Plus, you're doing a ton of great things with the agents, and you're approaching it. Like, I have this beef, and I say it on here all the time. Whether anybody listens to me is a different story. But I feel that there is a huge void in the market with brokers. So I feel like 99% of all broker owners, and I'm not putting you in this group, which is why you're here, are not giving the value to the agents that they should be getting. Right? So That's my theory. But before we go into that and all the amazing things that you're doing, because it's like it's revolutionary, man. It's like you're leading the charge. You're leading the movement of brokers who are looking to A, bring in technology, B, truly develop their agents, and C, be able to step out and not be selling real estate so that you can use your time to help them grow their business.
Right.
Which is really where it's at. But let's take it back to the beginning. Your mother obviously kind of paved the way for you, right? She was your inspiration in the real estate.
She was
industry. I can imagine.
From a young age, she would talk about it. I was probably 11, 7 when she started. But she was at Century 21, big producer, manager. I started out cleaning offices, real estate offices.
How old are you?
11,
okay.
12. But then she would have properties. They would need clean out jobs. They would have like side jobs. Do this, do that. So I was always hustling. I had a paper route. I've done probably everything. In terms of jobs, working at a deli. When you get into high school, it's like, all right, you're gonna play sports after school. Are you gonna be great? And what's that gonna do for you? Or are you passionate about that? I was always passionate about business or making money. So and things happened to me in my life, which I learned at something called Landmark Forum. It's something that I embraced recently. It actually had like a breakdown, and then I had a breakthrough with my life and just concepts and perspectives.
Isn't it interesting how so when you say breakdown, you were we don't have to dive into it, but you were physically mentally at a low point.
Well, everything was amazing.
Okay.
Business was booming. I was at the highest level of my business, but it was more about relationships, that I had with people, like my family, my friends. Some things were happening where it just, and I have one of my current business partners now was telling me, you gotta go. So he would just give me, you gotta go to Landmark. And that was the one thing where a lot of red lights after I went to this event. I had a breakdown, I had a breakthrough, I learned a lot of things, but a lot of those red lights and those relationships just became green.
Was that was it as a result of your methodology and how you were kind of viewing the world, or was it related to the amount you were working, or
I think everyone should look into Landmark Forum and just see, do their own research. It has a statistic that over 94% of the people say that it's had a positive impact on their lives and the relationships in their lives.
Okay.
And it's just digesting the human brain, that when something happens, we make a story of it.
Okay.
And that makes you want to be something, or it makes you want to do something that maybe you're not.
Okay.
But what the human brain really does is it's constantly making meaning of things when it really means nothing.
Oh, so basically everybody mind fucks themselves is what you're saying.
Yes.
So,
and if you just get out of the way of yourself, you can have anything you want.
Shit, maybe I think I should go to the Landmark Forum.
Right. So
Maddie, right?
I don't know what.
I think you should come with me, bro.
Right. So in the past, when I first got here, you wrote all that stuff down, but flip it over. I'll forget, not that sheet, but it would have been blank. So
okay.
you could do whatever you want. Right. So that's the past, and tomorrow's blank.
Wow.
Yeah,
See,
pretty cool.
You're super into. Again, there's so much stuff, but I don't want to miss things because I know you and I'll jump around like crazy. Yeah. But I think the very cool thing about you also is you were born, raised, and still operate at East Meadow.
Yes,
right?
Born, raised, lived there, offices there, love East Meadow, Central Nassau. I'm the Long Island boy.
So your mother, is in real estate. And the cool thing is, she made you earn it. From 11 years old, she has you cleaning offices, doing this, doing that.
My graduation of middle school, she says, you're not bumming around with your friends, you're getting a job, you're working all summer. I was 14 years old, working at a camp. And it was probably one of the best things because it sets those things in your life that says work hard, be nice, be respectful. And, I think that's a good thing to, anyone experience. It sets those thoughts and those beliefs in your head to work hard, be nice, be respectful.
So, you graduated high school.
Yes.
When and at what point? I know you went to college, but at what point did you become an agent?
A realtor. My last year of college, I was a finance major.
Okay.
This is when the Trade Center went down. Wagner College is on Staten Island. I'm standing on the rooftop of my building with all my friends, and we're watching it fall.
Wow.
So I'm a finance major, and I'm thinking I'm gonna work on Wall Street. I'm a numbers guy, numbers all day, every day, formulas. And that's where I want to go work. And then I'm thinking I'm going to go home after college, save my money, commute into Manhattan, and try to be on Wall Street or an accountant or some shit like that. Why would I want to do that? You know?
Was that really like watching the towers fall? Was a pivotal moment in your life?
It was a thought, you know, when that happened. Like, is that really? The city was very intimidating to me because I was always from Long Island. You know, when I get into Queens, it's like, you know, it's congested. The parking, you know. I was on an appointment the other day. I got a ticket for parking on a normal street.
Yeah.
But you can't park there because there's a hospital there and there's guys all over the place.
Yeah.
You know, writing you up. So I'm a little out of my element when I'm in the city. I'm not comfortable.
Okay.
I mean, I love the city, but only for about a day or so. And then, so my mom actually had an injury, and I was in college, so she said, listen, I need you to run some people around. So get your license, just show houses, and, you know, you'll make a few bucks. And that's what I did. And
wow. This is just after college, after graduation.
My senior year of college, I did an internship at Century 21 selling houses. Yes. So I got credits.
Okay.
You know, for you know, taking classes and learning real estate.
Yeah.
But I was actually making money.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, so that was like the start of it, and I liked it. I was intimidated of it because I was so young. I had that belief that, oh, I can't sell houses because I'm only 20 years old. And it, you know, it was true. But, you know, some of my older friends, because we were talking before about, you know, some of the experiences that I had and people that I were hanging out with. So I always hung out with like an older generation of people. So some of those people were buying houses. So I was, you know, introducing them that I was selling houses. So I started selling houses, and then it was, you know, 3 houses my first year, 5, then 8, then 12, then 15, then 20, then 30, then 40.
Yeah.
So it just kept going. Yeah, just kept going up and up.
So curious. So for me, I've never really. I mean, I sort of had a partnership, but I've never really had a partnership in my life, right? And then obviously, I work with a lot of family. So every time I like have somebody on here who, you know, work with their mother or their father or their uncle, whatever, I'm always, you and your mother seem to have an unbelievable relationship, which is very, very cool. So
we always have had, and we still do, but now when you, as business partners, I have what I call an MVVB, mission, vision, value, belief.
Okay.
And she has an MVVB, but we're completely different.
Yeah.
Because of the age.
Yeah.
Right? So she has certain, it's called GPS, goals, plans, and systems, at her age and what she wants for her life. And it's completely different. So when you don't see eye to eye, you know, we just kind of have to have those conversations of, hey, if this is your goal, if this is what you want to, you know, achieve, work less and still make the same or more, this is how I think you can do it.
Yeah.
But when she did what she has done, it's hard to let go of those.
Of
those
course.
reins. Yeah.
No, that makes perfect sense. And that's like one of the things I was thinking of, because I've had, you know, I worked with my father in the body shop business before, like kind of indirectly. He had a body shop, I had a body shop. We never really worked together, but there comes a point in time where, and I see this as almost restrictive with a lot of people who haven't done what you've done or went through what I did to get where I am, in the sense that I had a business issue like 10, 11 years ago, which ultimately led to like the passing of the torch. But there's a lot of people that work with family or work for their father or their mother or whatever it is, and they never, that passing of the torch never really happens. And here they are into their late 30s, 40s, and they never kind of realized who they were on their own because they're still under that kind of like the thumb, for lack of a better word.
True.
You know what I mean?
100%. But we have 2 platforms. You know, there's the office, and then there's Hubbard team.
Okay.
So there's 2 passing up the torches. And my mom used to have 3 partners. They were one of the biggest offices in 2005. But when everything collapsed in 2008, they went from like 50 realtors down to 15. And she lost all of her partners.
Wow. They left the business?
They left, but she was still a big name. And she loved Remax, and so did I. I was 5 years in it, still green. But, you know, we consolidated down, you know, space, expenses reduced. We went down to like 13 or 14. And then, you know, I helped build it back up to over 30.
So talk a little bit about that time. Like, what was it like to be, because I've been in real estate 5.5 years, so I wasn't in the game at that point. I remember being in the body shop business and standing there and being like, it felt like the whole world just shut off. Like, it felt like there was a faucet that was running and it just got shut off.
Yeah.
So talk to me about what it was like to be crushing it pre-crash and then experiencing the crash and then having to work your way out of it?
Yeah, I mean, well, we saw it probably coming before most people because, we had a lot of inventory and things were not selling, so you got to do the reductions. And it's really just about communication. But we talked before, I always seek coaching, always seek training. And I was doing things like, I call it a CCP, a client care program. So I was doing NLP, neuro-linguistic programming.
Yeah.
So I was always doing training on these scripts and just communicating with my sphere, my PCs, my past clients. I was identifying my advocates. I was doing things within checklists to nurture these relationships. Like when I received a referral, I would reward so they repeat all the R's.
See, this is why you're the man, because most guys use NLP to try and pick up girls. You're using it to try and make money.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, and
Maddie knows what I'm talking about.
And it all ties together. So
Yeah.
there was one coach, this guy Joe Stumpf. He taught me NLP, and I trained in that for a while.
He's a real estate coach, or
yeah, he built a company called Buy Referral Only.
Okay.
And that is the greatest business of all time, where you don't need any cold business. It's like, oh well, you can't even get in my door. You can't talk to me unless you tell me who referred you. So there's a story behind him building that business. It's about a dentist, which has the highest rate of suicide. But how can a dentist be highly referable? When you walk in that dentist's office, it smells like cookies. There's lazy boys that kick out. You watch TV. You're watching a flat screen on the TV while you're getting operated on. So this guy built this dentist office, and that was his story. But I thought it was so awesome. So it was more about like, how do you really make that experience, that client experience timeline, amazing? So it's a lot of communication. It's a lot of NLP. It's a lot of removing objections. It's a lot of expectations, that you have to set. But I was also going through a period where, now when I'm 2008, I'm 5 years in the business. That's when my mom, I remember the exact house where we came at an appointment, and she's like, you got it. You got it. Because of some things that had happened in that consultation. And, that's really where I really started to climb. But it was because of the lead generation that I was able to create, the appointments that I were able to set, the conversion that I was able to have, those conversion rates, and the servicing.
It's also the work in the amount of time. Like how many from 21? And what? Like how old were you at that point when she's like, you got it? Now?
26.
Okay, so you started at 21. You're finally getting traction in like, the success 5 years later. It's a 5-year overnight success. Like it took 5 years of 7 day a week, grinding.
Well, it's always been 7 days a week. Real estate is always 7 days a week. It's very hard to turn it off. I mean, it's a choice, right? But I made the choice.
Cool.
I made the choice to be in it 7 days a week, and my family understands that. My mom and I, during holidays, we would have these conversations, and I have 3 siblings, and they're disgusted by it. But it's what we always talked about. It's what we always did. And I set that tone early with a lot of buyers and sellers. I'm like a real estate doctor. I'm on call. You can call me, you can text me, you can email me. I try to set some boundaries, especially now that I have a family. But it's that commitment, it's that passion. People, I was just talking to a guy last night at 8:30. He's like, Chris, and I was telling him about, 203K loans. I was telling Mike about that because he's FHA. He needs a concession. And after that, he has no money.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, have you ever thought about a 203K loan? We'll look at the bottom of the market, buy something low, rehab it. You'll have everything that you want. He can afford a high payment. And sometimes it's just the way that I talk to these buyers, maybe even these sellers too, people. It's a different language. And the only reason why I have that language is because I've invested the time to study, to practice, to take action, to review where I made my mistakes. My weaknesses became apparent. I doubled down on that. And that's called SPAR: study, practice, action, review, reinforce.
So, but you also started from the bottom. So you're out there in the trenches selling houses.
Yeah.
You've cleaned offices. You've done this. You've done that. You're a broker. You understand how to cultivate agents. So you can, when you're working with an agent, you understand everything he and she is going through because you live it every day now and you've lived it.
Yes.
So that's
empathy. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, I could put I'm in their shoes.
Talk to me about so there's a bunch of stuff. So I want to talk about technology essentially.
Sure.
So real estate and technology. Real estate tech is a huge thing. I feel like a lot for as many people as you see like embracing it, but that's only like the 1%.
Right.
You embrace that on a million different levels.
Yes.
You're now getting into social media, green screen. You were telling me you're building out a whole new part of your office dedicated to the agents to helping them get online videos, etc.
Yeah.
So you're like one of the guys who's really leading the charge with that.
I like to consider that I'm leading, but I'm really following. You know, I'm part of the biggest network in the world. I told you my net worth is my network. Not only my clients, my friends, my family, but I get to hang out with some of the top real estate agents and owners in the country. So when I go to these events, like my wife's like, oh, you're just going to Vegas, hang out, you know, have fun. No, I'm investing the time. I'm having amazing conversations. I'm learning things, and I'm coming back, and I call them nuggets. And sometimes I refer to my nickname as Chubby Nugget. And I'm just handing these nuggets out because my name is Chris and my last name is Hubby. Chubby.
Oh, okay.
But it's kind of like
you're not
like jumbo shrimp, right? Yeah. So I joke around with a lot of people because I try to make it fun.
Yeah.
But it's Remax has something they released like 3 or 4 years ago. It's called Momentum.
Okay.
And it took over the whole country. Because it's a lot of business concepts. It's by this guy David Scott. A lot of the things that I'm saying, it's only because I've sat on my couch at 5 a.m. and watched him for an hour, day after day after day after day, and I've learned a lot of these things. And it's called complete agent development.
Let me ask you a question, just out of curiosity. Was there ever a point in time, like when your wife was your girlfriend, or even now, where you're doing stuff like this, and she looks at you like you're nuts?
Well, she always knew from the moment she met me that I was different in terms of like passion. I'm passionate about a lot of things. And I don't like to sleep. You know, sleeping to me is overrated. So, you know, she is someone that likes...
How many hours a night do you sleep?
I got a clock, like 5-6 hours. So if I go to bed at 9, I'm up at 3. If I go to bed at 10, I'm up at, whatever like, that 5 hours is.
You're just so...
This
5 hours,
you're up. I was up at 4 a.m. Yeah.
Because you went to sleep at 11.
Yep.
And you feel good? You look good, bro. You look well rested.
Well, I'm at the gym now, 5, 6 a.m. some days.
2 years out. I've seen the flex photos,
Yeah.
I've seen it. I don't. No, you're making progress, man.
I'm making progress.
Yeah, no, it looks
I got
good.
under 180. Yeah.
No, last night I had a meeting at the meatball place in Farmingdale, and I woke up today after 7 hours of sleep, feeling like I was half poisoned. So I want to be that guy. Maybe it's a Remax thing. Like Brian Karp's obviously a Remax guy.
It's a Remax thing.
He's freaking lifting 800 pounds at 3 in the morning.
It's in Momentum, and our CEO now, Adam Contos, he's a former Marine. So it's a movement. There's Facebook pages that some owners have sent me because they see me being all like health and everything.
Yeah.
And they're closed groups, and they talk about is what do you want to accomplish, setting those goals, setting those plans, setting those systems up, life aspirations. Life's too short, man.
So I want to ask you about two things. Why Remax? And I mean that twofold. A, why Remax in the sense that you could have been a part of, you're a top producer, you could be a part of any franchise you want or have your own name.
Yeah.
Why Remax? And then for agents out there who are seeking guidance from someone who's really going to give value to them, why Remax?
I went in with Century 21, but I wasn't there for long. My mom opened up the franchise, so I've always been there, so it's always been my home. But they are the number one brand in the world. Nobody sells more real estate than Remax. That's the sign of a Remax agent. They're the only real estate company in the world that they actually have a cost where the agent pays a cost to be an agent.
Okay.
So that's called like a promotional fund and like an admin fund.
Okay.
So because they have that fund per agent, they get to be the number one real estate company in the world in brand, technology, production. We talked about production per agent. They're like 2 to 1 versus any other franchise, 16, 17 transactions per agent across the country, where the average agent in every other franchise is doing like 6 or 7.
Okay.
And just the culture, which we were actually independently owned for many years, our region, by a gentleman named Henry Weber. God rest his soul, he passed on. But when the LLC corporate came back in and bought the territory back, New York, New Jersey, the region back, it was like a whole new game because of the people that were there. Momentum came in. I was hearing about it. I'm watching it. And I call that the omnipresence. Like when I'm over here, I'm over there, I'm seeing it, I'm hearing it, it's everywhere. I can't get away from it. So it's now like, here's the Kool-Aid, here's the Kool-Aid, here's the Kool-Aid, here's the Kool-Aid. All right, Kool-Aid's good. I want more Kool-Aid. I want more Kool-Aid. So, and that's how I met you, you know, because I heard you, Peter Grosso. You ever heard Charles, Handsome Homebuyer? I'm like, no, not really. And I was disconnected for social media for a long time.
Yeah. And
then all of a sudden you're here, you're there, I'm watching, I'm like, dude, I have to talk to Captain Permit. I'm looking for, someone like Captain Permit. And that's kind of how Remax is. And they're the best. They're number one in the world, and I want to be the best. And I if you cut this vein, you're gonna see the red, but you're gonna see the white and the blue too.
The awesome thing about you, which I know is very important, and I strive to do this in my own business. I'm nowhere near as good at it as you, is business systems. So like you are like the efficiency business system king
of systems. Yeah.
Like bananas. Like you have it all down to like you could just be as efficient. Like you have notes ready, boom boom, this click out. Like you're a machine.
So yeah, I've been very blessed, with the universe just delivering certain people to me in my life. And one of my agents on my team, her name's Diane. She's amazing, and I got her from another agent that came in and brought her with him.
Okay.
And he said, I can't really do anything with her. He was like an old school agent. He was on his way out, or he only doing X amount of transactions, but he knew she had amazing potential. So it's about accountability. Like I have all these amazing ideas and thoughts of things to do, but if you have an idea without any action, it's just it's nothing.
Yeah, but that's 99.9% of the people, right?
So that's what I'm talking about. People talk a lot, right? But they take no action, right? And then when you need to be held accountable to, hey, did you do that? How did it work? How do we make it better? It's called AID. I was doing a video about that the other day. Adding, improving, and developing. Mm-hmm. So I'm adding things. VACs, they're called Vital Activity Checklists. Mm-hmm. So I can deliver that client experience to buyers and sellers. So a lot of what realtors do is 75-80% administrative. Mm-hmm. 25%, and probably what you do too. It's all administrative stuff, I think.
I always say 85%. I tell my staff all the time, like 85% of what we do is making sure everybody else does what they're supposed to be doing.
Right. So what Momentum taught me is if you can get total clarity, that's like the hottest word in my life over the last few years, total clarity, and get to a level of consistency. Because that's the problem with a lot of realtors. They don't want to do it again and again and again and again. Either they're getting bored or they're getting discouraged. But you got to get to a level of consistency, and then that's when your strengths and your weaknesses become apparent. You got to always be, studying and practicing, taking action, reviewing, reinforcing, masterminding, and that's how you'll get better. And so I developed a lot of these vital activity checklists, and we're just continuing to add and improve and develop it, especially with technology and video, and we're going to try to rehumanize this whole experience and this whole process. So people are just raving about it, and automate it. Because I think I mentioned to you, I'm really trying to leverage myself out. Yeah. So I can go and do other things with my family or with my life, but come back and everything is still going. Yeah. And I was never even really there.
Yeah, that's the hardest part. I mean, just so everybody can. This is on a very, very small scale, but this is my first impression when I walked into your office, right? And this, some people might not think this is a big deal. I think this is a really big deal. So I walk into your office, and you have a secretary behind the counter, and she's talking to somebody. She very nicely. You know how you come in an office, someone's having a conversation, you could sit there for like an hour waiting for them to finish. So she immediately stopped the conversation with him very respectfully, introduced herself, said, hi, thank you very much, put me into the conference room.
On the window side.
Yes. Then came in, on the window side, then came in, you're going to actually have to tell me why you do that in a minute, came in with a menu of like, can I offer you something? We have this, and this. And I was like, I feel like I'm in a 5-star resort in Remax in East Meadow.
Yeah, it's not the fanciest, but... that's a checklist.
The level of care
that's a first impression, and it's a checklist. Now I could also have a sign in front of my office where it says reserved for Handsome, so I can have like a little whiteboard with like a post and literally put it in the street.
Do you do that?
I have the sign, but I didn't do it for you that day.
Okay.
But yeah, I can put the sign there as long as no one parks there.
Yeah.
And and then obviously when clients come in, welcome this person. But it's a system, and having the right administrative team is only going to get that into motion, because it's my idea. It's not my idea. It's something that I've learned that I should do, but unless my admins help me do it, it probably won't get done because you
don't have the time. But here's the bigger thing. Like, we're talking about systems, standard operating procedure, but what you're really doing is you're creating an experience. And it doesn't matter what industry it is. It could be permits, it could be selling real estate, it could be selling widgets, whatever it is. You are creating an experience for the people that you work with.
Yeah.
That few, if any, other people are doing. And that
Absolutely.
starts with the sign in the street and your secretary and the presents and the sit by the window and the refreshment list and everything.
Yeah, I mean, it's when you do something so many times, you get bored.
Yeah.
Right? So that's another reason why I think a lot of realtors struggle, because you got to do the same thing. It's being committed to mastery.
Yeah.
Right? If you want to be at the highest level and master something, it's like Bruce Lee. You know, he fears a man that practices one kick 10,000 times more than a man that knows 10,000 different kicks. You got to do it again and again and again and again and again. So what I do when I do it again and again and again and again, I just try to do that empathy and say, hey, if I'm the client, how could it have been better? How do I make it like Disney World or world class? Because when I go to Disney World all the time, and every time I go, it's freaking awesome. Because Walt had everything down. Do you know that they come and they take all the garbage? They never let the garbage cans get more than half full.
Yeah.
And they only take it from underneath. You never see garbage people coming and cleaning them out. They take it from underneath, and they never are. So when you reach in to put your garbage in, it's never higher than half.
So what do they have? They have
everything is underground there. Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, I'd say most of the parks. There might be some that are not, but most of the parks where everything is underground, they get everything from underneath. I mean, I read that somewhere, but it's true.
Wow.
So that's just like an impression, right? So I kind of, if you want to be at the highest level, you know, you need those systems, you need those touch points, you need to deliver that experience. Now, listen, I'm not perfect. It doesn't always go that amazingly well. You know, I have some experiences with clients where, you know, they may not have enjoyed that experience or they didn't like me, but that's okay. At some point I want to have a conversation, find out what it was. Yeah. And maybe it was just them, you know, and that's just how they are. They'll never like anything.
That's a percentage of the population. It's a small percentage, but it is a percentage.
And that's okay. But if it was something that I did, you know, let me know so I know how to address it, you know, for the future.
Yeah, and I think that's important. What people need to understand. Like, every hyper successful person either currently goes through crazy shit or definitely went through crazy shit to get there. Like, a business doesn't open and everything's amazing. You know, like, you remember you and I had spoke, and you're like, hey, so you're doing the Captain Permit thing? Like, I have 30 agents. I'd love to like do business with you. And at that point, I turned around and I said to you, I'm not ready.
Right? Yeah.
Because I wasn't.
You're not. You're being very honest.
I wasn't ready until so recently, now that we have our new COO and now we're really getting the systems in place and really moving, now we're ready. Right. But if I press the gas at that point, the whole thing blows up. But you have to know that that's part of the process with any business. Like, you have to go through that stage.
Right, but you also know that if you're going to, you know, have me come in and try to develop a new relationship, you want to be ready because you want to deliver at the highest level. Right, so in the same moment, I'm so conditionally systemized that the moment someone says I have a need, my first thought is not Captain Permit. It's somebody else. Yeah. And I go through this script of, oh, well, you want to do this, and I have this touch point where they get this. So that's just a matter of just revamping it and adding someone else in. And then just being systematic about introducing you, which I've also talking to a title company. I want to prepare sellers for all of the turbulence, I call it turbulence, that could happen in a transaction. Okay. Especially with the title part. Adverse possession, I mean, you know all this stuff. The COs or the lack of, judgments, liens, missing SATs. So I wanted to put someone like you, another title company person that I know, and maybe start making videos where I'm with the client and using the technology that I showed you before, the BombBomb, where I can send my clients a video of you, and you're going to talk to them and say, hey, this is what I do, this is what I can do for you, and this is my value. And if you want something like that, you know, all my information's below. Rather than me, you know, calling you spontaneously, you're busy, you don't answer, then I got to text message them or email them the information. It's very dry. So we're going to do that. We're going to do that when we get my studio set up. Yeah.
But this is like, the cool thing about you is you, like, it sounds like you almost like obsess about the experience, and how you make it better. And that's the ongoing, never-ending game for you. That's the challenge.
So I have my MVVB. My mission is to help agents, for Remax Central Properties. Mm-hmm. My mission in my life is to help people. So my vision in Remax Central Properties is to take mastery-based people or agents that want to accomplish all their life aspirations. I'm going to help them do that through my complete agent development program, because it's so business and entrepreneurial that it is life-changing. And people talk about managing time. You can't manage time. It just goes by. Click, 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 click. The only thing you can manage is your vital activity systems. So if you know what your highest and best use is, we talked about that. I call it Hubbard. Mm-hmm. Your highest and best use. If you can manage those vital activity systems, so it's like a pyramid. Vital activity management systems, you become very intentional and proactive. You become very effective and efficient, and you're reaching your greatest potential. Now, you need staff to help you with that. There's just too much. There's not enough time. So you need to develop people, and that is very painful.
Yeah.
As you know.
Because it's very time consuming.
It's very time consuming to find the right people for the right reasons.
Yep.
So that I think we were on Facebook one day, and I said, hey, did you ever do a personality test, like a DISC test when you're interviewing someone?
Yeah, I remember
to find out, what type of personality they are. Because people of different personalities might excel at certain things, but they're going to suck at other things.
So the cool part of, one of the many cool parts about being an agent that's working with you is you spend a lot of time and a lot of money training with all kinds of different people in every aspect of business, life, entrepreneurship, etc. Right? So essentially, what it seems like you've done is it's like a culmination of all those things and your own experience come together where you develop your own program where you're saving agents a ton of time in the sense that they could go and walk the same path and spend tons of money and time and fly across the country, or they can come and work for you and get it right there.
100%.
With a bow on it, ready to go.
Yes, I have so many chubby nuggets, so many things that I could share with them. They are the golden nuggets, golden nugget, right? Yeah. Everyone hears that. Mine are real chubby nuggets, right? So, and it just makes it simple. So
all right, Matt, the name of this podcast is going to be called Chubby Nuggets. Chubby Nuggets.
No, I love it.
Chubby Nuggets. That's it. We got it.
So some of the best owners out there, because agents want to get to that next level. So their next hire might be a buyer's agent or a transaction coordinator.
Okay.
But they don't know how to make that hire. It's very hard. They're a technician in the industry. They're not a business owner. You ever read Michael Gerber's book, The E-Myth?
Yeah, of course.
Phenomenal book.
Amazing book.
Amazing book.
Everybody should read it.
So there's another one by I can never remember the spelling of his name, Lacini or something like that. The Advantage.
Okay,
I'm reading that one now. That's like next level after E-Myth. But anyway, so one of these broker owners, or a lot of them, they talk about agent service divisions. So I took my vital activity checklist, which is over 80 administrative and tasks, as well as world-class touch points, whether they're emails or text messages or video messages, to set those expectations, to deliver that world-class experience. And I have my admins, and this is the painful part, I have them doing it again and again and again and again and again, and we're reviewing it, and we're at the point where we're like, well, hey Sandra, hey Diane, hey JJ, how long does that take for you to do this from beginning to end, right? Even if it gets messed up, or there's an issue and you got to do some back and forth because maybe the agent's not that great, or the client, communication is a lack of. 4 hours, 5 hours. So I put a dollar amount on an administrative rate, and then I said, well, if we wanted to offer this to agents that were doing 10, 12 transactions, if they wanted to get to 15, 20, 30 transactions on their own, you have to remove them from the administrative tasks so they could just stay into the dollar productive. But who's going to service all of that? They have to now hire a TC, a transaction coordinator, to handle all that. I have that. It's called an agent service division. And if you want to pay X amount of dollars, I have the 80 to 90 things that we can do. You may not like everything. So you're not even going to know what half of them are or what they mean. And I've typed these templated emails and text messages. And you could pay X amount of dollars per transaction, and the agent service division takes care of it for you. Yeah. So you can go on vacation with your family, right? And let my agent service division micromanage the deal for you, move it across that client experience timeline, make your client still get that world-class service, branding the agent every time, and it's phenomenal.
Yeah, because I think a lot of agents want to go out there and well, there's a couple things. A lot of agents are like, oh, I want to become a broker. First of all, being a broker is not it's not an easy thing.
A brokerage of an office. Yeah.
Yes, I mean to have your own office, have your own like it's. I always tell people like if you're in a situation where if you have somebody like yourself, there's the liability, everything that you go through. There's no point in you being a broker if you have somebody like yourself who's offering the things that you're offering.
Yeah, I mean, and I pay for a lot of them. There's a platform that there's an owner that has 2,000 agents, and he just merged with another office out west, and they run the whole state. So they're on a level where the perfect agent systems is now all web-based videos.
Yeah.
So I call it like an onboarding system. I pay for that to learn what he's launched, and I give it to my agents for free.
Yeah.
Right. So it's just another item of value that they can leverage to improve their life and their business, and that's just that's just how I am, because that is what my vision is. That's my mission.
But the big thing is like people. You always hear agents talking about like split, and split matters only in the absence of value, in my opinion.
Yep.
So
that's what I say.
Because if you go to a place where it's a transaction fee or like a small percentage, whatever, but like they're not giving you anything, it's worth it to pay a little bit more.
Yeah.
To have your time freed up, to have the experience that much better, because it's going to grow your business.
Right.
So instead of doing 6 transactions, you're going to do 18 transactions.
Right. But you know what? Everyone's different. These are the choices. These are the thoughts and beliefs that people have. And you know what? If you are sub 40K a year, even sub 50K a year, you can go to those maximum commissions. I call them landlord-tenant relationships. Just pay your rent. I don't want to see you. That's how that broker-agent relationship is. Just pay your monthly fee and get 90, 95, 100% of your commission. And that's what it is. There's no value.
Yeah.
Right? And price is a factor in the absence of value. You're 110% right. I won't compete on price.
Yeah.
I won't. I mean, I have my model. It is what it is. I very, very rarely will change it because that's what I value. But I can offer so many things of value to you to help you grow your business, to help you grow your life, to help you reach your life aspirations. I mean, we're going to do amazing stuff together. We're just scratching the surface.
Yeah,
we're just getting started.
We're young.
Yeah.
So there's 2 more things I want to talk about before we wrap up. First, I want to talk about golf.
Yes.
You I hear you talk about golf and the way you do and the passion in which you do, and for you it's like it's a philosophical thing. It's not like a game. It's not like some old guys getting hammered, drinking beer, driving around recklessly in golf carts.
No, and I do that too, but yeah, that's the fun part. Yeah.
But for you, it's like again, it's a philosophical thing. It's a challenge.
It's the challenge.
It's like it seems to be like what am I looking for? Like a synonym for life for you. It's just life happens on the golf course.
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
It's one of my only things that I'm fully free. So I start early in the morning. That's really what I realized. That's the only time I really want to play when I want to play well. And I suck, by the way. I'd say 10% of the golfers shoot, when they really count their score, under 100. This is what my friend, who's his name is Mike. He's awesome, and he's my buddy. He's a fireman, and we've played many times because of his schedule. Right, he could play. He's got work and 3 days on, 3 days off, and we can go 6 in the morning during the week. Mm-hmm. Most people can't do that. I will never go on the weekend because I'm working, and I wouldn't want to go on the weekend because that's when everyone goes.
Exactly.
Right? But I realized that it's so mental. You got to invest the time. You got to seek training. You got to study. You got to practice like anything else. And if you want to master something, you got to put in the time. So I like it. I'm passionate about it. I want to play well. And it really means nothing. It's just me versus me. No one's going to give me an award. But I like doing well at things. I like being in that 10%. And that's how I am in real estate. That's how I'm trying to get with my fitness goals. And that's where, that's just kind of who I am.
Lastly, what's the future of Remax look like for you?
Remax Central Properties?
Yes.
Oof, that's a loaded question, man.
That's why I asked it.
Yeah. So, agent development is at my highest priority. Getting that production per agent from that high level of 10, 11 transaction per agent higher, because that's what I'm committed to. And then also recruit 3 to 5 agents, the right agents for the right reasons. I don't want a lot of attrition. I want them to come and I want them to stay. We've had some leave, but then they come back because they see that the grass is not greener on the other side.
Yeah.
There could be, future mergers or acquisitions of other offices in the future. Them coming together. That's what's going to happen in a lot of real estate offices over the next 3 to 5 years. A lot of them are going to go out.
Okay.
Or they're just going to be taken over by big offices. The strong will survive. I might have other people come in to assist in the recruiting and the development and the retention and everything that I want to offer, because I am still retail. That I'm getting into the wholesaling, and that just started. And I have all these little things that I'm doing, and I have something amazing that I worked like 4 or 5 years on that we talked about, which is that's coming together now. And I just want to be somewhat of a mascot, and someone that shows up and gives the value, and reminds everyone of what the mission and the vision is, and everyone's just drinking the Kool-Aid, and everyone has their job responsibilities, and I'm somewhat leveraged. That's really the hardest thing, but the key to a life of abundance is leverage, and I want a life of abundance, and so do my agents.
That was the nugget, bro. Maddie, you got that?
Right. Yeah.
Perfect. Yo, I think that's the perfect way to end it. You're the fucking man.
Thanks, man.
I love it.
I look forward to connecting with you again.
I mean, I encourage agents to go out there and speak with you, even if they're coming fresh out of school, if they're with somebody else. I mean,
yeah, we got a lot of training events. We'll be doing announcements.
Again, I mean, I know a ton of broker owners. I know a ton of agents. I see what's out there, and that's why I always make the comment. I'm like, there is a big void. And I think you're doing it right, man. I think you're one of the very few people that actually genuinely really care, right? And it's great that you get the things that you want as long as you're helping people get what they want. So
that's what it's all about.
How do people get a hold of you? Your social media? So you're putting out a lot of videos.
Yeah, call, text, email me. Yeah, everything's there.
You want to give the information so people like...
Sure, call me on my cell, 516-322-7808. Call the office, 9 to 4, 516-731-2700. Social media, Chris Hubbard. Remax Central Properties. I mean, just Google it, you'll find it. I mean, I need help with that marketing platform.
Well, if there's anything I can do, obviously I'm here. Obviously Maddie's here.
Absolutely.
And obviously if you have a house that smells like cat pee, it's dated from the 1960s, or anything real estate related, I'm low maintenance. We'll have a good time. I want to buy it. 516-777-SOLD. And again, anything plans, permits related, if you're an investor and time is money, and time is always money, we have the fastest turnaround times in the business. We are super dialed in right now. Give us a shot. You won't be disappointed. 516-513-8838. That's a wrap.
Orgulloso estoy de mi herencia judía. Benjamín Leven Shlomo, cuando me llaman a la torre, así me llamo yo.